time! It's not really tea time, it's more of a story that I have. I know that with friends on the internet, I'm not trying to make any noise, I'm just doing this for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and I have absolutely no idea why. Hence doing it for absolutely no reason. I find this sort of common, I suppose, between friends or acquaintances, as it were, on the internet. And this has bugged me, so I'm going to talk about it now. So back at the end of last year, I started beta reading for somebody that I know. I met them, we're acquaintances because I don't have friends. We met on Tumblr, we follow each other there, we know each other's sort of names, we greet each other casually, hi, how are you? Oh, that's so sweet, thanks for you, etc, etc, etc. They beta read for me in September, October, whatever month it was, when I was beta reading Nephilim. And their feedback was really good, it was really helpful to me. And they put up their novel for beta reading for the first time. And I was like, oh, fantastic, you know what? I need to get back into beta reading. Because first of all, A, it gets me to know other writers and their work. And B, it helps me read more, because I don't read. And C, you know, it will help me with my own revising when I get to that part of a novel I haven't been working on at the moment, Project Body Swap. So they split their novel into sections, part 1, part 2, part 3. First part was the first 12 chapters, which I read at the end of last year in preparation for the next set of chapters coming out at the beginning of this month. At the end of this, they had their questions, which I answered, and, you know, sent it off at the end of December. Hadn't heard back from it then. At the very, very beginning of this year, a few days, a couple of days, or just after, or just before, some time frame at the beginning of this month, oh my god, they messaged me and they said something along the lines of, I've just been going back over your feedback and I noticed that you said that you wouldn't read this if you picked it up in a book, and I don't want to force you to read something that you hate, so I'm giving you the option to back out. Right. So one of the questions that they asked at the end of their first session was, if you'd pick this book up in a library, in a bookshop, would you finish reading it and why? And I put no, I wouldn't. Now, I explained why I wouldn't. And I explained to them back on the message, had nothing to do with the plot itself. It had to do mostly with the pacing of the book. Because for me, personally, personal opinion, okay, not a rule, the pacing was off, and it based on what I had read. If I had read what I had read in a book from the library, I wouldn't finish it. Obviously, it's a first draft, so, you know. So they're like, oh, okay, but the offer still stands, like, I don't want you reading something that you hate, you can still back out. Now at this point I'm like, okay, sure. This isn't the first time that someone has said to me when I've been beta reading for them, it seems like you don't like the story, would you like to back out? It's not the first time someone said that to me. And immediately I go in my head, is this what you're trying to say? That you don't like what I'm saying about your book and you want me to stop beta reading for you? So I ask them this, I say, do you like how I'm beta reading? Am I being too harsh? Sometimes I feel like I'm being too harsh, but when I ask people, they say, no, it's fine. They said it was fine. They said, I don't mind whatever way that you give your feedback to me. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with positive. I'm okay with negative. It's just that your feedback was maybe a little too negative instead of lots of positive, and it was a little bit daunting. And I was like, all right, okay, I get that. Thank you for telling me. I'll make sure to include more positive bits in my feedback as well as the negative, the bits that I thought could improve. Okay. And they were like, no, don't change how you're beta reading. That's how you beta read. Don't change it. I don't need to be baby fed. I'm okay with negative feedback. They were like, be honest. You've been honest. Continue being honest. So I was like, all right, fine. I thought the entire thing was over. I explained what I did. I explained that I would insert more of what they were looking for, like positivity wise. And they said, no, don't change what you're doing. I thought it was done. I thought it was all over. And then I read the tweet they might have forgotten that we also follow each other on Twitter. So imagine my surprise when that same day I go onto Twitter and the first tweet in my feed is a tweet from them asking the writing community about their advice when a beta reader hates your work. So I read the tweet and I was like, okay, I see, all right. And then proceeded to read the rest of the conversation and all of the replies that people had answered for them and the replies that they themselves had put. And shockingly, but not shockingly at all, what they were saying to me is not what they were saying to these other random people in the writing community. They were saying they were confused by my explanation of why my feedback was negative, or they were confused about the reasoning I gave for not wanting to continue their book. They were saying that the only reason I was beta reading for them was to repay them for the fact that they beta read Nephilim. They were saying that me and them working together wasn't a very good fit, that I was being very, very negative, that I had absolutely nothing positive to say about their books, that they probably wouldn't take what I said to heart and might not even use the feedback that I had given them because it was vastly different from all of the other feedback they had received. Now here's the thing that annoyed me the most about this experience was the fact that I asked them and I said, do you not like how I'm beta reading? Am I too harsh? And then I offered to input more positivity that they're looking for. I offered to change how I beta read, not getting rid of the honesty, but sort of changing up how I did it. And they told me no. They said, no, it's fine what you're doing. Don't change how you beta read. It's okay. And then they turn around and to other people go, I didn't like it. She's saying that she hates my book, which I never once said I hated the book at all whatsoever. I don't hate the book. It's a really, really good premise. It's got a really, really good plot. The pacing is the only thing that threw me. The pacing. I said the pacing goes too fast, then it goes way too slow, and I can't see the plot. As in, the plot you had promised in these first 12 chapters was not set up, which, in my opinion, it was not. So that would stop me reading any book. And I don't want to say two-facedness of it all, but like the fact that I was being told one thing and other people were being told another, and that I wasn't being told the truth and they weren't being honest with me when I was trying to be as honest with them as possible. That is what really, really annoyed me, because we're supposed to be acquaintances, right? We're supposed to sort of like know each other. And the fact that I asked if I was being too harsh and they said no, it's fine, and then went off and told Twitter they're being too harsh, they're being too negative, they hate my book, etc, etc. I'm like, why are you saying these things? Like, I never said any of those things whatsoever. It is very, very clear by your tweets that you do not want me beta reading for you. You will not tell me that though. You want me to turn around and stop beta reading for you so you don't have to tell me no. You want me to quit so you do not have to cut me, so you do not seem like a bad guy. Like, that is what I am getting from this entire experience. That is what I got. You're too scared to tell me I don't want you beta reading for me anymore, so you're going to offer me the chance to quit because it doesn't seem like you like my story. And it's like, just tell me. If you do not want me beta reading for you, regardless of if we know each other, regardless of if we're friends-ish, I suppose, whatever, tell me. I do not like the feedback. I do not think we're a good fit. I do not want you beta reading my book anymore. And I would have been like, okay. Because sometimes it doesn't work out. Yeah, sometimes two people don't fit. Sometimes the way people work don't fit. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I find it so disheartening that people just can't be honest with each other and just tell the truth instead of sort of all this like coercion, sort of manipulation, sort of passive aggressiveness thing going on underneath. And it's So yeah, that's put me in a whole sort of mood about beta reading for people now. Do I want to do it again? Because clearly people have a problem with how I beta read. That's how I prefer people beta read my books, after all. I prefer negativity over positivity. Because sometimes positivity just feels like pandering, especially if it's from somebody I know. And negativity, I feel, is more honest. Like they're really taking the time to look at the book if they're being more negative about it, if there's stuff to be negative about, of course. That's obviously my personal feeling. So I beta read how I would like to be beta read for. And if you don't like what I'm doing, or you have a beta reader or a critique partner and you don't like what they're doing, or you don't like how they're saying things, or you don't think that they get the story, tell them. Just tell them. We're not going to hate you, we're not going to curse you, we're not going to spam your inbox with nasty messages or anything like that. We're just going to be like, okay, thanks for letting me know. Thanks for the opportunity. Good luck with your book. That's all you need to do. So in the end, after finding this tweet thread and reading through this tweet thread and reading through all of these replies that they're giving to all of these random people on the internet, and sort of coming to the terms that, you know what, you aren't being honest with me and you really don't want me beta reading for you, you're just not saying so. I messaged them and I was like, you know what, I'm uncomfortable with beta reading for you now. Thank you for the opportunity, I wish you luck. And I got told that my feelings were valid, so that was a whole other thing that I'm not going to get into right now. So that was story time. Tea time. With Sarah. Don't know why I went into this, but there you go. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on about my latest experience in the writing community world, and I will see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.